Oh, we're live. I think we're live. Good morning. We are. We've been on 10 seconds. We didn't acknowledge each other. That's what we did. Yeah, listen, I'm on my phone like, okay, wait, let me open up YouTube on my phone. Hello and good morning, sunshines. Welcome to the Women of a Certain Age with Organized Chaos and Foxxie. We are women of a certain age, and you can tell that we're women of a certain age because we're slow. We're slower, and we're not that technology savvy, but we're getting there. That is our goal. All right, let me hide. Okay, wait. And we're still trying to learn how to use StreamYard. And wait. I just saw something happen on my phone. Okay, y'all, wait. Let me go to my YouTube channel. I see us live. Okay, there we go. Turn the volume down. So now we should have two eyes
You
on
can
us.
see my chat that I had.
Oh, wait. I got to go to the comments.
Yeah, because I just sent the.
Are you doing comments on StreamYard or are you doing your comment? I see your comment there. Hello.
Yes, I did it through YouTube, so.
It just showed up on StreamYard. Okay. So it's a little bit. I see it on YouTube. I got my YouTube on my phone.
Yeah.
And then it just popped up on StreamYard. So that's cool.
Yeah, because I'm on. See, on YouTube it's like a delayed reaction.
Yeah, it happens on YouTube faster. Well, good morning, everyone. In my world, it's always morning. It just is what it is. No explanations. Morning, everyone. So, Foxxie, how are we going to start this discussion? I think we should tell them about us because they may have never seen an episode of our Women of a Certain Age because we need to do more. So just tell us a little bit about Foxxie and Family.
Ooh, so Foxxie and Family, that's what you get. You never know what you're going to get with Foxxie and Family. I am trying to be an influencer as far as inspirational speaking, inspirational quotes, just being very positive of things that's happening around the world because we need that. So I try to just be a positive person. So you might see me download some goofy videos. You know, I might just be sitting and talking. You never know who might just jump in. Like I might just feel like I might just want to record my day. Like if you didn't see my videos, go back and watch them because I just do anything. Because I feel like it's just important just to show who I am, and that's just me. I'm out here just living my life and having fun. And I thought it was important that we just came together and we just have these conversations. So hopefully one day we have other people that will join on and hey, be like, hey, I'm here. I want to join with you live chats and take care of this. So hopefully you guys are joining in with us and just jump into the chat so we can know, hey, you never know what this might help or who it may help.
Absolutely. Well, I am Organized Chaos. This is my organized, unorganized space. I'm not chaotic, like I'm not doing crazy stuff, but I am chaotic just because I do different things. I am trying to figure out, like, Roz, are you in the car? You're making noise. Roz, what are you over there doing?
That's what you get. You never know what you might get.
Roz, Foxxie, what is happening over there? I'm like, hello. Can you hear me now? Okay, so anyway, we are going to host one of these from Roz's page one day. We just, just like what's happening now. It sounds like Roz is rubbing her microphone. Girl, what are you doing over there, Roz?
I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to make it so I need a microphone actually, so I'm just talking, man. I'm cool. Ooh. And I need to plug on my iPad because it's gonna die. That's all I went to go get was the plug in. I'll be right back, people.
Roz, put yourself on. I'm gonna put you on mute. I think I can mute you. Can I mute people? I can mute myself. I can't mute Roz though. Why can't? Oh, there we go. I see it. Listen, I'm old and the buttons are low. I found it. I know how to mute people now. Anyway, I am Organized Chaos. I do a series called Drinks and Journals. I do lock updates. I am a newly locked person. And what else do? I take videos sometimes of things that I think are going to be really exciting that I get excited about doing. And then after a while, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that no more. and that's called Not My Ministry. And I think that's it. I am starting to not I'm not a good vlogger just because I don't care. I'm not about to record stuff on a daily basis. That's just too much pressure for me. But I am excited about turning 50. Something about turning 50 is just, it's really, it feels really good to me. And so I am creating a little small series of just little things I'm doing between now and the 50th in June. And I'm adding that to my little drinking journal series. So we'll see how that goes. Foxy, are you ready for me to unmute you now? I had to put her in timeout. Are you back? Can I hear you now?
Yes, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. It doesn't sound like you're outside with the wind whipping. All right, you guys, are you ready to jump into this, Foxy?
I am ready to jump into this. I got my papers and my notes and everything.
And so Foxy texted me early this. Listen, Foxy know I be up early in the morning. She texted me early this morning. I was like, "Girl, what is you doing up?" She was like, "We should go on and we should talk." She was, "Did I ask you before?" I don't remember the order of the conversation. You basically wanted to go live today, and I was like, "Well, what are we talking about?" You was like, "Mental health." I was like, "Cool." And so I knew Foxy had to go to work, but I know she's able to multitask. I know she has her notes. And then I pulled up a couple of websites that I sent to her to kind of get us ready for today. I'm not going to share the websites. I did add them into the description. So anything that we're talking about, there are 4 links in the description. 2 of them are a little bit of educational about minority health issues. And the other 2 are some questions that we're going to use to kind of guide our discussion conversation today. So if you're interested in especially those questions, they are in the link in the description. All right, Foxy, how are we going to do this? You want me to start? You going to start?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Whoever want to start, go. Just talk. I guess I can start. So, one thing that people don't realize about a person is always it's like, oh, so happy go lucky that we do suffer some type of depression or mental depression, and people don't realize that even though you're always happy and go lucky, like this, I'll just take myself for instance. It was a time in my life where I was so low that you would never know that's what was going on with me. You would never know that I was feeling that sort of way. I had it was my self esteem. It was like hard to talk to people. It was like, oh my God. And it's all about just being in an atmosphere where you work with the being only African American female, and then you work with a bunch of Caucasian, other just why to say white people. And I'm not a racist person, but it is what it is, and it make you feel a certain way that you always gotta prove yourself all the time. And that takes a lot on anybody's mental stability. That takes a lot on you when you have to try to keep proving yourself when you know you are worthy of everything that's going on. It started. I would have to go all the way back to high school. So just living in a urban community, what they would call the quote unquote the ghetto, even though we live in Detroit in a nice house in a good neighborhood, because you was an inner city kid, you got treated a little bit different. So when I went to high school, I didn't have all the designer clothes that a lot of kids had. I rode the bus to school. I didn't have a car. I don't think I got my first car till I was in my late 20s. So I rode a bus to school, and they kind of looked down on you and stuff like that if you couldn't get your if you couldn't afford to go to a party or something. Because in my world, my mother felt like that putting food on our table was more important than me trying to get an outfit to go to a party. And I grew up like that, and I agree with that one. But it did put a lot of mental stress on your being. And a lot of people don't realize that when you're in high school is already bad enough. It's already pressure, always trying to fit in, try to get in where you fit in. And sometimes it just doesn't work. And, so you have to try to present yourself as being that person like, oh my God, I'm just not that person. But, as I got older, I realized like, wow, I did suffer some type of mental health issues. I did suffer some depression because when you get older, you didn't know how you didn't put a word to it. Because in your house in the black community, that's taboo. You don't tell nobody that you feel like something's going on up here in your brain because they will look at you funny. And As I got older and started really knowing how to channel my thoughts and write stuff down and finding people to talk to, yeah, I went to a therapist when I was in college. I had to go to a therapist. It was bad, where you had to go talk to people, and college wasn't no better. Went to a black college, and still, because I was from the inner city, you got treated differently when you went to a college down in the South, and people don't realize that because you go to the South, there is really prejudice down there. I don't care how many black people live there, it's prejudice, and you just have to still once again try to prove yourself and try to keep your mental stability on point and try to get good grades and be that person with people who think you are. I'm not ashamed of it because it's not like people didn't know about it because I went. It was a lot, and it was hard to try to keep your mental stability where you can function every day. Thank God I was not the type of person that I didn't go to drugs. I didn't drink really, so that was two things that I felt that was in my benefit because I felt like if I had let that get to me and I didn't try to seek help or talk to somebody, I probably would be drugged out by now because that's a lot of people do that to cope. And I'm just so thankful that I decided I'm gonna take care of me. And like I said, it's like taboo in the black community. If somebody say something wrong with you, the first thing people would think is say, "Oh, something is wrong with them," but that's not true. Like you see it now, all these young people are having all these mental breakdowns, and it's like, okay, so
Oh, listen. Did you hear about what happened at the Travis what's his name? Travis Scott
no, I didn't.
concert?
No, I didn't hear about it.
So he had like some type of huge outdoor festival. I think it's called Astro World,
Hmm.
and it was held in Dallas. And so, Texas
Oh,
doesn't
I
have,
did. Oh, it did pop up on my news feed when I was coming for work that.
yeah, and Texas doesn't have a lot of restrictions on what you can and can't do. Like it's kind of like open season, even though there's COVID and
Hmm.
whatever. So something happened. I don't know if they're trying to spin all of the details or what, but whatever it is bad. And there's different like stories about kids running through or somebody running through the crowd, sticking people with drugs and people
Yeah,
passing out and they stampeded because people were scared of getting stuck with a needle. I saw a news story of a police officer that had got jabbed in his neck. So that's what happened. And the only reason he very likely survived is because there's some type of shot they can give you if they can give it to you in enough time to save you. Like
yeah. I heard it was like 8 people who actually died from that. For
I
the
feel
stuff,
like
I saw
I
some
feel
report.
like it's more. I feel like it's gonna be more. Like
It
I
probably.
feel like they not gonna tell you the whole everything only because it's gonna make Texas look bad. It's gonna make Travis look bad, and guess ultimately it's gonna make the Kardashian family look bad, girl. And they can't have that. Chris
Oh, that's right. Cause they
Chris
just got
Jenner,
Kim and Courtney just got engaged.
girl, Chris Jenner don't
Wait a minute, Travis Scott is the
it's
one.
not trying. Travis is with one of the other girls.
Oh,
He's not with a
oh,
Kardashian.
he
He's
got the
with the
baby with
younger girls.
Kylie.
Yeah.
He got the baby with Kylie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that child. But that's still they under Chris Jenner management. Chris Jenner manages all of them. So this is not a good look. This is yeah, there's a spin doctor or what's her name? Olivia Pope. There is an Pope working her tail off right now because this got to get fixed. This is terrible. And what made me think of that is what happens mentally for somebody to want to hurt other people just randomly and intentionally, right? Like that part of the mental health, what is that? What
It's That's something that they have to dig deep into because what was in your home like in your life to say, hey, I'm just gonna take a needle and just gonna start stabbing people because that's what I can do. It's something. It's got to be something, and we just haven't put our finger on it yet. What went wrong with society? Where's society when they say it takes a village? Where's that village at?
But
Um,
you know what I think about too, even though, we try to analyze like all of the things, we're always trying to improve and do better and, be better human beings. A lot of the things that happen have been happening since the beginning of creation that we can actually look at and record, right?
Yeah.
It's just that we see it a lot more now because we're more connected than we've ever been. But if you know history, like all of this is just, it's just stuff that happens. It's been happening throughout history. We
It's
we probably been having mental mental things happening to us since we had to chase down that big mammoth and try to figure out how to get.
it's our brain, and you think about the brain, that little bitty thing is in your head. The brain is not that big, and you got certain parts of the brain that help everything. So it's that one part with the mental to be like, what incarnation is going on? Why do I have to think this hard to try to
Because we've
figure
been
out some stuff?
traumatized since we
We was
since we were
traumatized when
thought
we came
about.
to the birth canal because we were into this world. We did not
Exactly.
know when our parents was like, "Oh my God, where did I bring these kids up?" And then,
Exactly.
and then by you being brought up, it's just it's different. It's and you know what? It's not a bad thing to talk about it because I mean, because you feel like you got to talk about stuff. I mean, you got a mental problem. It's just that you want to be mentally healthy. And I'm not an expert, but speaking for me, mentally healthy is just not letting that stuff to sit in your brain and marinate until it gets so cooked in there, it explodes, and you want to do dumb stuff like that. Like
I agree. It's
just
just like
drive down the
anything
street one
else. Like
day.
if you have a toothache, you should probably go to the dentist.
Right.
If something's happening in your head, you should probably go figure out if the first step is talking to somebody. How simple is that? Just to go have a conversation. I
It's
think that the art of having conversations, and I think the art of having a space where you can actually be who you are is really hard. I even think that with our family and with our friends, sometimes we are not allowed to be who we are because of the fear of the judgment that
yes,
comes from maybe some of the things we think, some of the things we feel, especially if you have a family who doesn't allow you to feel anything. Like
yeah,
I've seen it where you're not allowed, like, don't nobody care about what, like, what? Like you're not allowed to feel. So what do you do with that? You're a human being. You have that those things happening inside of you. If you can't release it to the people that's closest to you, and you've been holding on to it, what does that do to you? I can't
it's
imagine.
crazy. It's crazy because you think about it. People, we are like you said, we are human beings, so we try to live up to this expectation that people put on us, and it's not fair to us as far as our mental because we shouldn't have to. Like right now, at my age, I could give one iota what somebody think about me right now. And I was being nice, YouTuber, because it was about to come out. So I'm trying to be,
Girl, talk that talk. Talk that
keeping it.
talk.
But
Keep it
I
real
could
over
give
here.
a. I just don't care what somebody think about me right now because I am who I am. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna say what I want to say and mean what I say. And if you don't like it, you can just get out my circle. I don't care because if you was in the right people that's in your circle would take you for who you are, flaws and all. It don't matter. You don't have to be perfect at all because there's nobody in this world is perfect. It might be one person's world is perfect, but he's not always that perfect, and he's not even a being on earth right now. So don't get it twisted.
Girl,
Don't get
that's
it
why
twisted.
I find YouTube to be a really fascinating space
Mm-hmm.
because of that. Like it gives everybody the space to not just talk, but it gives everybody a space to also try to be a leader. It is so
Mm-hmm.
interesting to me that everybody on YouTube has opinions about what everybody else is doing. Like, how do you have that kind of time to be so focused? I'm like, I can barely keep up with myself.
Just
On a
I
daily
swear,
basis, and they be sitting on YouTube having whole deep thought analysis on other people's stuff. I'm like,
right. It just make you wonder what when I have time, I can barely keep up with, like you said, keep up with the hell is going on with me versus worrying with somebody else. Don't get it wrong; it's very entertaining because I will watch it, but I'm not gonna sit there and be like, "Ooh, no." I gotta worry about what's going on with me at this point. And getting back to the black community, we as a black community, we are so strong that we're afraid to show that weakness. And that's where I think where our downfall is because we are afraid to show that we're weak. But don't mean that because you show weakness that you're not strong. A strong ass person show weakness, and that's what it
listen,
is.
I went to a funeral this morning.
Oh, so you did go. So we was wondering.
I went to a funeral this morning, and it wasn't sad. Like, it's like a childhood auntie mother for me. I'm really good friends with the daughter of the mother that passed. But what was interesting to me throughout the entire service was they kept calling her so strong. And it resonated with me because we hear that so much about Black women in our community. We're so strong.
Hmm.
I'm tired of being so strong, right? Like, it's exhausting. It's it's not a safe space to be strong all the time. And if you are always strong, when do you just get to breathe and just exhale and be a human? Because human being is not a consistent strength. There's peaks and there's valleys and there's just beach moments. And if I always got to be strong, when do I get the views? When do I get the beaches? When do I get the sunsets? I don't want to be strong all the time. I want to fall into a pillow sometimes and just lay and cry, right? And if we
Hmm.
do that, then we're weak.
That's where we need to change what society say about a black woman. Because what they say about us is that, oh, they're such a strong black woman. Yeah, I'm strong, but also at the end of the day, I'm still human, and I'm weak. But I feel like I said before, I feel like me showing my vulnerability, me being weak, is my strength. So it's nothing wrong with that. Don't think because yeah, I'm going to take time out for me. I'm going to sit back in the corner in the dark and say, you know what? I don't want to talk to nobody today. This is me digressing. This is me getting myself together. This is how I cope with stuff. I'm gonna sit in the corner. I'm gonna cut the lights off. I'm gonna be in total darkness, and I'm gonna be just chilling with myself. I'm okay with that. Once we feel like that, we're okay to just let that emotion. Because sometimes you have to have a good cry. Hell, I don't know what I cry. Sometimes I be sit up there and I just start crying for no reason. I'm like, oh, the water is running wrong, and I just start crying. What the hell is that? I mean, I don't know.
Somebody cutting onions. Stop it.
Right. I'm like, what, what happened? Why did you move that TV over that way? You don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, if that's what you want to do it because that's what's wrong now. Because we don't let society see us being that person. Doesn't mean, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Doesn't mean that we are weak. That shows how very strong we are because we are not afraid to let people see us cry. Make a mistake and say, "Ooh, I did that." I own up to my mistake. I learn from my mistakes. We I've been in this world for 57 years. Lord help me, Jesus. And I thank you, God, for making it that far because some of us have not made it that far. I'm turning 58 next year and I'm still learning and growing. Still learning and growing. And I love it because it's certain things out here I'll be like, damn, why didn't I look at that differently. Like when I was 20, when you was 20, you had no fear. Now I look back and say I was just a dumbass little girl.
Girl.
So you just can't think about it. And that's where all that come into because you do stupid stuff because you don't want nobody to know that you are sad on the inside. Oh, I'm sad. Why can't I be sad? Why can't I just sit in the corner and just be sad? Because that's just me. I want to, and I'm going to do it. And I think everybody out there should. It's okay to cry. It's okay to show that you need that moment in time because if you, like you said before, organized, if you are always being strong, and then when it's time for you to be that weak person, everybody looking at you, and you looking at them, and we looking at each other like, well, shit, one of us gonna cry. I'm just gonna be the bigger person, and I'm gonna have to do it because I can't be strong for you, and you not be strong for me. It gotta work both ways. It's gotta go both ways, and
I
that's
agree.
hard in the family. And not saying that neither one of our families is wrong with not helping us out because they are. They're there 100%. But when you got other people that depend on you, that's really outside your family, and they say, "Oh, you so strong." No, I got strong for a reason because y'all crazy butts out here. Like, whoa, I got to take care of myself because you're not going to help take care of me. If I don't take care of me first, I can't help take care of you.
Let me tell you a little story. I'm gonna tell you a story about when I was younger, I used to always wonder, like, my mother didn't really talk to me, right? She didn't tell me things about being a young lady or being a woman, or just, she didn't talk. She just grinded. I saw her grind. I saw her pay bills. I saw her, she would go out sometimes, not a lot. Um, and she just had it together. Like anything I wanted to do, she made it happen. Anything anything, anything. And so the one thing that she didn't have was the ability to talk about her life and her childhood. Fast forward to 49. I'm 49. I've been on this ancestry DNA journey. And let me tell you about some of the things that some of our ancestors didn't talk about, that they carried with them, that they've never had to unpack because they just didn't know how. At 17 years of age, for some reason, my mother moved to the city of Detroit from the backwoods of Louisiana. 17 years old. She left her mother and her father. 2 years later, her mother would pass away, or her father. I don't know the order yet. I'm still researching. She was really young when she moved here. She had some siblings with her, and she got married to my brother's father, and he was killed in a hit and run accident when my brother was 6 years old. Fast forward to my father. Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation in itself. Oh, that's a whole nother program.
fast forward, fast forward to my mother and father, and they never got married, and that's not sad. That's not a bad thing, probably. And so this young girl with just a high school education moves to Detroit from the backwoods of Louisiana. Her younger brother has seen her grandfather get shot in the head. Her younger brother died really early. And then now that I'm 49, I know even more because of Ancestry DNA. I wish they should, I should do a whole series because of Ancestry DNA. And now there's another one, My Heritage, that we sent our DNA to. There was so much happening in the neighborhoods in those backwoods. There were so many of the same families commingling in those backwoods of Louisiana. There's so many names that are on both sides of my family tree that are exactly the same. I can't imagine what was happening like in real life in the backwoods. I can't imagine the things that she saw. I can't imagine the things that she ran away from. I can't imagine that. And she did what she needed to do. She came here and she thrived, but she didn't tap into the trauma that she had experienced and that she was going through just because she was here. I can't imagine what that's like. She was able to raise two kids and love them from exactly who she was, but not dealing with some of that trauma that she brought with her and that she collected while she was here, I believe is one of the biggest reasons that about 20 years ago she had a serious depressive episode. And then this current summer she had another serious depressive episode. And another gap that was filled in for me was that the first depressive episode to this most recent one, she had been taking medication that I knew nothing about because she doesn't tell anything or talk. Can you imagine what it's like to hold on to stuff?
Your
And
brain,
then, and then she's 77 now, like, and then to be at an age where you probably can't remember half of the trauma that you buried, right?
yeah.
How do you address that generationally? Like, we're probably of that awakening age where we're like, girl, something going on with you, go talk to somebody, and I'll call a therapist.
Right.
I've done family therapy with my kids, but there's still so much to unpack just with the relationship with my mom, right? Like something happened to her. And I would like for her to talk about it, but maybe that's not what's best for her. And so like it's just such a weird place, especially as black people and the older generations of us, that mental health is not something that was a priority. I could imagine if mental health had been talked about when she was younger, my mother would have went to the doctor about it. She just didn't know. And I'm sure there was some type of fear because of black people don't trust doctors for the most part, especially her generation. So I think a lot of that, like I think I relate that a lot too, because sometimes you hear people like these relationship coaches and gurus telling women that your mother didn't teach you enough about how to be with a man or how to do this, and everything is all about a man and you don't have a man because of this. And I'm like, our parents was dealing with their own trauma and they raised their kids from a place that they could, not focused on anything other than handling business. And it's not our fault because we learn how to handle business. And if we want to focus on relationships, we can. But that's what we got.
Yeah, it's I think that because I think our parents, the way they was raised, where they was raised, they they didn't know either. So it was always like you said, it was always taboo. It was just taboo. It was just taboo. It was just taboo. It was just taboo, and it's hard. It's hard to for them to probably talk about it because they weren't allowed to talk about it.
Oh, you don't talk about stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not. All right, I'm gonna look at one of the websites that I pulled up for us. This is called the this is the first link in our description if anybody is interested. Minority mental health month. I didn't this existed until today. Did you know about minority mental health month, Foxy?
We're we're you're frozen.
Oh, am
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
I?
yeah, you still frozen. You coming back?
Girl, I see me frozen on the YouTube. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I saw me frozen on YouTube looking crazy. My little signal is unstable. Okay, it's coming back now. That I don't know why it does that. I think it does that when I use my monitor. When I use my monitor, it does something crazy to the StreamYard, and I have no idea why, and I don't know how to fix it. I have enough CPUs. I do all of the thingies. I need a tech because I can't figure it out. I'm tired of trying. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway, so I'm gonna ask you again. Did you know? I didn't know until today that there's actually a minority mental health month. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. Where
I
that?
didn't either.
You know what? So that's something that what month is that, woman? Because that's something that we need to really.
It's July. So this says Minority Mental Health Month is the month of July. And one of the first things that it has on here, it says talking about your feelings is something only white people do. Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
Because this is not the first time I've heard that statement. I've
That's
heard that I've
I
heard that
heard
in
that
the black
statement
community.
too. I
Yeah,
didn't
I've
heard
heard
that
that in the
statement
black
too.
community. Like, you gotta talk about your feelings. Feelings.
I
Um,
heard that too. I heard that too. So because you see that all the time. You see them. They always be like on any television show. They be up on the couch talking. They'll pay $1,000 to go let somebody help them out. But we the only ones afraid to show that, and I don't understand why is that. Why are we so afraid? Why? What was the stigma behind all that? Where did it come from? Is it because it's because we was told not to talk about certain stuff when our ancestors were slaves and when we was more superior than they were. They made us feel like we weren't. Cause we're a smart group of people. But what I fear is that we don't support each other the way we should, and that could have a lot to do with it. Oh, look at Sunday. Hey, Sunday.
hey,
Um,
Sunday.
Hey, Sunday girl.
Hey.
um, so it makes it hard when I don't get it, and I don't know. We need to do that. I would talk to somebody. Yep, I would talk
Yeah.
about it because even if we don't talk to a professional, talk to somebody because sometimes you just talk to a friend, talk to hell, sometimes you just talk to the wall if you want, whoever you want to talk to get it out because you can't hold that stuff in anymore. It's not healthy, and that's
I
when you
think
find
for
it.
sure we need to absolutely. I know for sure for me. I think I'm gonna do something in the month of July because like I said, I didn't even know the month of July was
No,
Minority Mental Health Month. I was like, that's a thing.
right. That's the thing. I mean,
Yeah.
like I'm about to put this in my calendar right now because I think that's freaking important. That I didn't know that was a thing either. How can we make something about that? Like Mental Health Month is July, and we're gonna do something about that because I fear that if we don't talk about it and keep it on the front burner, it's gonna get buried. And how come we don't know about that? What is that? They talk about everything else, but not that. That's important. But I
Um,
think if it's some celebrity or something would come up, they'll be like, "Hey,
I'm gonna talk about some of the highlights that I see on here real quick.
okay,
They talk about like some of the things that are holding Black people back from getting the appropriate mental health treatment. They talk about stigma that for some reason 63% of Black people believe that poor mental health means you're weak. Excuse me?
did we say that?" And I didn't even know that part because I didn't get that far to read it, so I didn't know that. And I said it. No,
It means you're weak. That is so interesting. They have another one on here that says provider bias and treatment issues. There's a lack, and I will say this, and because of the experiences that I've had all my life, I'm a little late to the party, but the first time I've ever been to a Black OBGYN was my last pap smear. And it was such a different experience than going to Henry Ford Hospital with a white doctor. Like I'm just gonna keep it real.
yeah,
The
I've been to
conversation was different.
different.
It just was different. I don't I it felt like I was talking to my grandmother, and it was weird too. Like, oh, you can relate to the things that I'm talking about. It's not
Mhm,
just wham bam, we're out. Like she talked to me about my body and the changes it was going through. And
mhm.
it was deep. I've never had a doctor talk to me like that. And I loved it. I was like, thank you. Like, I didn't feel like I was at a doctor's office. I always feel like I'm at a doctor's office because it's all sterile and cold. Conversation, too. And I think I do have trauma. I have trauma. It doesn't stop me from going to the doctor, but I do have trauma against doctors because they always try to tell you worst case scenarios. And I know that when I was pregnant with my son and they wanted me to have an abortion because of esophageal atresia, everything they told me was going to happen when he was born, it was just, he's going to be this bad and it's going to be terrible and he's going to need this type of surgery. And he came out best case scenario. I think ever since then, I was like, how do I have more emotion than a doctor? And I get it. They probably can't operate from emotions
They
because,
can't.
yeah, but it's nice when they do.
Yeah. And when you go to a African American OBGYN, I remember when I went to one and I love the whole office was women, black women, and it was just a beautiful thing because they took their time with you. They actually did talk about your body, and then they only talk about your body. They talked about how you doing. They asked about your mental stability because they knew a lot of that with your hormones get you off flaky because now you about to start going through it in a minute. Now I'm about to tell you that menopause stuff ain't no joke. So when you start going through it, your whole hormones is all over the place. So that mess with your psyche right there. You be like, what is going on? You start feeling like, am I not attractive anymore? Ooh, why I got all these nice sweats? Well, I'm sweating like that. It's just weird. And then we will have somebody to talk to about it, you know, that makes it all the better and it makes it a great thing. And people just don't realize that, you got to talk about your mental, you got to talk about your psyche. And we just have to just cut that ties with that stigma that is shows weakness. And no, no, no. Get back to the the sites. Remember everybody, the links is below.
It says well another barrier is access to proper health care and adequate insurance. 11.5% of blacks were uninsured in 2018 versus 7.5 of whites. In addition, and that means there's more because we have less people statistically than the makeup of white people. In addition, 12.3% of Black and African American adults who visited the doctor had difficulty getting access to follow up care versus 6.8% of white adults. They talk about racism, both systemic and interpersonal levels. They talk about I think that's it for they, and then they give you some suggestions about where to get further resources. And then I'm looking at the second link that is attached as well. This one is called Zacharias. This is Minority Mental Health Awareness Month in relation to sexual assault survivors. Oh, I don't know if meant to pick that one, but we can still look at it.
That's a whole nother
I know, right? That's why I'm like, oh, that's deep.
Conversation.
That one is deep.
I know. When I saw that one, I was like, I wonder if she knew she picked that one, because I was like, oh,
I'm gonna tell you why I picked it. I just scrolled up. This one right here is the reason. They have a summary of the barriers to seeking mental health care. So it's not about the articles on this one for me. This was is just about these barriers. They talk about lack of resources, financial burden, lack of insurance, social stigma or the shame of having a mental illness, where treatment facilities are located, bilingual services, cultural beliefs, and mistrust of the mental health system. That's why I picked that one. So we are going to go to our questions, Foxy, to keep us focused. Well, so I'm gonna skip the second page because we already been talking for 42 minutes.
Have we? Oh my God! Yes. I swear, when we start talking, I forget that we on the doggone YouTube.
We've been talking. Oh wait, I'm about to freeze. I can see when I freeze now. When I freeze, am I still? Can you still hear me?
You sound like like auto tune or something. No, you can't hear you. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. So you should talk. When I freeze, you talk.
Okay. So, well, I think some of the questions, the one on the page that she sent me was introduction experimental exercises, and it just have you do these certain exercises that we want to do. So it tells you, just asks you different questions, like it is asking us to raise our hands. You went to a doctor's appointment in the past year. Raise your hand. They asking questions. Is that the one we on, or you want me to go to the other one? Let's do that one.
Do your thing. I'm still trying to figure out why I'm frozen.
You were admitted to a hospital for any reason over the past year. No, I wasn't. You took any medication over the past year. Well, we all take medication. Yeah, medication. How did it feel to answer those questions in this group setting? So those are things they was talking about. So if you're in a group setting, you ask these questions, were you afraid to talk about these questions? No, those questions was easy. Now, if we were to ask you to raise your hand, no need to raise your hand if you saw a mental health professional over the past year. You took any psychiatric medication over the past year. How would you feel? So the questions they have with that one, it makes sense because you talked about you going to the doctor, you went any reason you took medication. So those are the generic questions, but then they dug deep. You went to a psychiatric hospital, you took a psychiatric medicine. How did it make you feel? And what they want us to discuss is how are these questions different from the previous ones? What makes them different? Different. How does this activity relate to your loved one experience of having a mental illness? So I'm thinking that those questions, there's the same questions, but they just dug into the mental and psyche part of it. So you did go to the hospital, but you didn't tell us why. And we took medication, but you didn't tell us what for. And it was all about your mental and your psyche. So a psychiatrist. So it doesn't mean that you're crazy or you anything like that. It means that you thought you needed some help, and maybe that was the way to do it. Now, I'm not a professional, because I can't say if medicine do this. We're just talking, so don't go by our advice. Do your research. Do your research. Research your person that you want to talk to. Research the person that you want to, a medical or mental health person. Research. Research is your key word for you to get the help that you need. Research. Are you back organized?
I don't know. It's looking weird. I closed out more tabs and it still looks unstable. Does it
Right
still
now,
sound?
right now you good on StreamYard. Okay, now you
Oh,
good.
it's coming back
It's
now.
coming back.
Finally. It
Mhm.
was gone. The whole time you talked, it's had the little Wi-Fi thing up there. Yeah,
Ooh.
I need to figure that out because then going live, if it sounds terrible, the picture I don't think is a big deal, but you want to sound good on YouTube.
Yeah,
So
you want to sound good. Yeah,
I gotta figure out what's going on.
we
I
got to
really think it's the navigating to the
StreamYard.
no, well
Can
I
we
think it's
can we
StreamYard.
can we do YouTube live and see how would that work?
Yeah, we can
We can
try that
try that.
next time.
We'll try that next time and see if that was just something. Maybe we just need a different platform. Who knows? But these are some great questions that you found out. I would have never thought um
I'm
that.
on look at the last one. It says ouhsc.edu. I'm on the second page and it's talking about the impact of stigma on family experience of mental illness. It's and the first question is what is the biggest consequence for your family of your loved ones having a mental illness? And this one resonated with me only because of what just happened with my mom.
Hmm.
And the consequence was I had to get in her business and it was really uncomfortable for her. She's a very private person and I live next door to my mother, but I don't necessarily see my mother on a daily basis. I live next door to my mother, but I don't go into her house every day. Like that's just not my mother. And so this is different. I talk to my mother every single day now. Like every day, girl, what you doing? Like, and I can tell she's so irritated with me. She was like, nothing. I was like, okay, I'm just checking on you.
But see,
But
by her being irritated, that sounds to me that she's getting better, because she's like, I'm just so irritated. I'm just gonna just do what I need to do.
and
Cause
then
she,
I feel like a part of it, she's never had this much attention. I know my brother gives her different type of attention than I do. So she's getting it from both of us right now, right? And so like I was on my way home from the funeral and yesterday she had talked about going to McDonald's or having another chicken sandwich. I just froze, didn't I? I think I'm back.
no, you good.
And talk about having a chicken sandwich. So on my way home from the funeral, I was like, girl, you hungry yet? You ready to eat your chicken sandwich from McDonald's? And she thought about it. She was like, no. Because I told her she ain't been working out like she used to. I was like, you know you about to get fat. She was like, no, I'm not. I was like, well, girl, you got to get to moving because you can't just sit in the house and just be fed. Because me and Peanut keep groceries in the house. We get food. We pick up. He gonna cook chicken or something tomorrow at her house. Like she eat. I was like, girl, what you gonna do? So I think that's the biggest consequence. Like I never knew about the medications she was taking. Now I am in charge of all of the medications that she takes. I just didn't know a lot of stuff. Like she just wasn't that type of mother. And so the consequence of having the second episode, mind you, was gotta get in your business. And I did warn her before, like, I gotta start knowing. And another consequence is that I'm going to my goal for the next 2 years is to get a new house. I would like to change her view before she leaves the earth. I want her off of Cherry Line. I want her out of the hood. So that is the goal. She would be content to stay here just cause I don't need all of that. That's just extra. But I have convinced her that as soon as my son graduates, we're leaving. So yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm
we
excited
all
for
leaving.
that. Y'all leaving too, girl?
You leave, we leave. Everybody leave. And once you leave, we leaving. I'm
Yeah.
out.
So that is definitely the another consequence. Have you had a family member with some type of mental illness that you had to intervene or be made aware of, and then?
I think most of it wasn't like a mental illness. Mine was more of like that's a whole nother subject, like drug abuse.
Mm,
So that's a whole different subject right there. But as far as a mental illness, you see some of your family members just go through certain things, and it's hard to dip into somebody else's business because you don't want. But I don't care. Dip into mine. You can ask me all the questions you want to because it's going to be up to me if I choose to tell you or not.
right.
So if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you, yeah, I was going through something. Yeah, it was difficult when I was going through what I was going through, and and a lot of your family members is not going to tell you that, and it's hard when you want to try to help someone because, like, I'm not a professional. All that I can do is be there for you and be that person that you can lean on and that try to help you out. I wish I had that when I was in college because I didn't have the college was always crazy anyway. So just your mental health was just weird because I'm not, I don't know. My family probably know now after watching this, but I remember when I had got to the point I was so bad that I ended up in a mental facility for a few days because it was just rough for me, and I had to seek counseling. They had to make sure that I wasn't going to try to hurt myself. It was a lot. It was bad. It was bad, and I don't know. A lot of people probably don't know that because I never really talked about it. But right now, just it's out there now. But only people that really probably knew was my grandparents, and both of them are they're gone. My grandfather knew what I had went through when I was down south, and it was bad. I was in. They had to keep me for a few days, I wasn't like gonna hurt myself, but I don't remember really what happened. They said I tried to hurt myself, so I don't really remember what I did. Maybe I don't know, but that's what they said I did, and it kind of freaks you out when you they said I took some pills or something, because
Mm.
I remember I had got hurt and I had these real strong medication. At this point, I was just like, this I can't take this no more. This is crazy, and I must have took some pills, and one of my friends and my dear friend to this day, I don't think if it hadn't been for her, I probably wouldn't be here now because they got me to where I need to go, where they had to actually pump my stomach, that charcoal and everything. That's not a good feeling. But that's when I first went to college, so that was over 20 some years ago. Like when I was in college, I might have been a freshman. Think I was either freshman or sophomore in college, but yeah, I remember that. And then they, two people that came to my rescue. I never forget the one guy because he the one. I remember him carrying me out to the car and taking me to the hospital. And my other girlfriend, she saw she must have saw me after I did it or whatever. So and they got me to the hospital. They the ones, and to this day I'm always grateful to them too. And I would never, and I don't even know if they would know what's going on, but that was your mental health right there. That was part of your psyche right there. That would get you wrong right there. So then that made me just kind of strong when I felt like, why would I want to take my own life? Because of stuff I didn't understand, and that was part of your mental stability. So now that's why I'm so open about a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm still a type of person that still don't divulge. I mean, I'm like, if you ask me a question, I'm gonna tell you, but I ain't gonna come out and say, hey, this. But if I'm feeling a certain way, I'll reach out, but like, you know what, I need to talk because I need to get this off my brain right now. And I feel like people are not doing that. We as black women, we need to have a round table. Like, you know what? I ain't talking about Jada. I love Jada, her little table. We need our own little round table because we need to come together first with no judgment. It's got to be a safe space. And we just need to talk. And we don't even have to be women of color. This could be women, period. We just need to get together and just talk.
Well,
Yeah.
first I want to say thank you for sharing that. That was very courageous, Foxy.
Yeah.
Like that was a lot. So I want to acknowledge that for sure. Thank you so much. And that's just real talk. That is, I think I've never had a episode like that. I think the only like memory of wanting to hurt myself was when I went away on my way to college. The little boy I thought was my boyfriend wasn't really my boyfriend. That's the only time that I really feel like I just couldn't function no more. My mom was like, "Girl, get your ass out of here and go."
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
My mom was like, "Are you serious right now? Girl, go." I think that's my honestly, like I don't even think I felt like that when I got divorced or when I, all of that drama. It was just that one was it for me.
Sonny
That
chiming in.
one, listen. Oh, I see. So I see it on YouTube now. It just now came up on the stream yard Sunday. Like, well, I'm just saying. So I think that's my only one. That's why I'm like, oh, Foxy, I didn't know. I feel bad. I feel like I should know that. But like, why would I know that? Yeah. So
Well, you know what? Like I said, it's nothing. I mean, I'm sure that people gonna know now, but sure a lot of people don't know that. It was trying. It was crazy because you just. I mean, and I think reality hit in was when I had to go to the facility, and it's nothing. And I can laugh about it now, but it's nothing like they actually put you in this room, and you are in this room with the door shut. And you got it's like you're in a prison, but you're in a little room with the little window. But they make sure there's nothing in there that you're gonna hurt yourself, and it's weird. If that don't make you break out that stupid shit that you thought you why was that important? If that doesn't make you come to grips, because at that point, they have to make sure it's not only for your protection, it's for their protection too. Because they don't know, I could have been a crazy person. Who knows what I would try? I mean, what else I would have tried to do, but I mean, and it helped me a lot because I continued to see the therapist while I was there, and I overcame a whole lot of stuff, because I had to get that for me being a little black girl from the inner city out of me first, and living and didn't have a lot what a lot of people had, and I went away to school pretty much. I didn't have a lot. Thank God my grandparents, they helped me and they took care of us, but I just didn't have a lot what other people had when they went away or growing up. And that kind of messed with my psyche right there. But then once I got to the point where I didn't give a damn, I became who I am now.
you overcame. You had
I
to
overcame it.
overcome all of that, and
You had to.
a lot of that. Well, it doesn't happen for everybody, but a lot of that will usually happen after school years, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
once you get out of school, a lot of that stuff just doesn't matter anymore.
Nope.
Even the little boys. Just doesn't matter anymore.
I wish you know where he need to find his little ass.
Girl, I know exactly where he is too. Girl, I would not, if I said his name, he would be so embarrassed. Mm-mm. Wasn't even worth it, girl. Girl.
I can't with you right now. That's funny as hell. But I feel like this was a good conversation, and we really got to do it more. And we need to get a couple more people on here with us. They have to join us.
Sunday would actually be such a good
Yes,
addition
Sunday,
to
you got to
our
join
discussion.
us live.
Sunday has so much good experience, and she's just well versed on just life in general.
Sunday, are you going to join us? I
You want
know
you
you're
want to
running.
join us one Sunday or one? No, what's today? Saturday. I was gonna say one Sunday, just because I got bars like that.
Yeah, it can be Saturday evening, Sunday,
Sunday
Sunday.
says yes, so
Yeah,
I will. So yeah, so Sunday, I'm gonna let you know. But now you got to be ready because this one that we're doing right now, it was absolutely not even thought about until 6 o'clock this morning. So just be ready when I send you a messenger. I probably need to give you my text number Sunday because it'll be a real random. Oh, we need to get on in about 4 or 5 hours, and I'll be sitting there like, oh, okay. So that's why I didn't do my drinking journal today. I was gonna do it, and then I was like, you know what? Let me say that till tomorrow because Foxy trying to go live. I was trying to do my family trees. I had to go to the funeral. It was just too much. It was too much that I hadn't planned on my Saturday until six
no.
o'clock this morning.
But you know what? When it hit you, when it hit you, it hit you. It hit you. Thank you, Sunday.
Yay. So that'll be fun. We're gonna bring Sunday up one day. All right. It's a whole lot more we didn't talk about, but it's been an hour. So we probably need to have a part 2, and on the part 2, we can visit some more of these questions, because these questions on this 4th one were so good to me. They were so
Yeah,
good to me.
they, and then the ones I was looking at, just the question alone would make it just so happy. So you know what, we're gonna do it. Hopefully, we have people joining us in our chat more. Because you know what, we're just making so it's gonna be different. We're
Girl,
gonna
we just gonna keep on being here until people be like, you know what? I want to watch the old ladies talk. I want to hear what the old ladies over there talking about.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen one day. We just got to be consistent. It's all about consistencies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to have overnight YouTube fame. Overnight YouTube fame comes with a price in these YouTube streets.
In these YouTube
So
streets.
I'm cool with my little 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as you know.
Girl, I be happy. I got a little 15 subscribers, and you be thinking I got 100. I be like,
girl, anytime you see what, I'll be like, who is you? Because you can't always see who the people
you
are.
can't always see who it is.
Yeah, when they subscribe to you, I'll be like, who was that? Somebody want to see me? Hey.
I'll be so happy. I'll be like, thank you, 15.
I know. I'll be feeling the same way. I'll be like, okay, when we gonna get to 100 so I can show my number count. I'm not because I hid my subscriber count because I don't
I don't care.
I know I don't like it less than 100, even though 100 still ain't nothing. Look, I still want 100.
And it's funny, and I don't care, and I'm so proud of it.
So proud. Why you playing on? I am proud of my love. I ain't gonna tell y'all, but I'm proud.
We did this one. Can I share it to my page, or
you should be able to? If not, I can download it and email it to you. I think
then I can pull it up on my
way. I wonder if it's a way you can share stuff. I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll send it to you, Roz.
Yeah, so that's fine. So I just want to just say, because even though, and I'm gonna share it on Facebook. You know me, like y'all can go back and watch this conversation because it was good. It was interesting. Good. It was enlightening. You learned some stuff about people that you didn't know what you would know.
I know. I learned stuff about one of my best friends. I'm like, girl, I didn't know that. But now I know. I feel like I tell all my business to you anyway, so it's probably nothing that you don't know. And I think that's why I'm halfway not unstable, because I tell too much of my business. Oh wait, what Sunday say? Sunday says that's why I try to tell you I'm here so you know with me, so you're relaxed. Ah, thank you, Sunday. We appreciate it. All right, Foxy, it's been real. Sunday, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, Sunday.
All right, so the next time we're gonna do a part 2 Sunday. So be ready for the mental health talk. It was about in the Black community, but I still feel like you can contribute to that conversation Sunday.
Yeah, and this is mental health with women, period. I think that's what it is, women, period.
Yep. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Out. Bye.